Okay, let's make sure you guys can hear me.
Okay, can you hear me? Because that was the biggest problem.
There we go. All right, hopefully you can hear me. Finally. Can you hear me? Yes? No? Okay, let me see. I need to know you can hear me first. Not finally. Okay, let me see. Let's make sure this is plugged in. We good? Okay, cool. What's up, everybody? I know it's been a while, but we're here. And those of you that couldn't hold your horses, it's time. What's up, everybody? It's Talia, your creative confidence mentor. I know it's been a while since I've been on here, but we're not going to talk about all that. We're just going to go forward with jumping right into creating. Tonight, you can see by the thumbnail and the title, we're going to be making a zine. Before, we had usually just done my painting, or you guys could watch me paint. Behind me, I'm in my studio, so you can see some of my paintings. And I know before we've even done junk journaling. For those of you who don't know what junk journaling is, that's a visual journal. So I have one of my old books here. So what it is creating something visually. Sometimes writing is, too hard to express some emotions. So what makes it easier is if you put it into image form, or like some of you in video form. So this is just an example. And then I've gone from there, and outside of making a visual journal, now I'm making zines. So that's what we're gonna do tonight. For those of you, my OG viewers, and those of you who have known since 2019 that I was working on a book. Oh, sorry, let me move this back over. Those of you who might already know have been waiting on the book. Talking about impatient over here. Some people have been patiently waiting for my book. Those of you who may have seen me go live back in 2019 on my Facebook channel know of the time when I was so nervous that I blurted out that I was writing a book when I wasn't ready to be telling anybody I was intending to write a book. So a lot of you have been asking, when is your book coming? How far are you? All of that. Well, good news is I've written it. And it's gotten handed off to an editor. So we're in that process. So I'm free to create now, and that's why we're here tonight. And we're gonna be making a zine. Let me actually show you what I've got. I have a couple of them that I've made. You can kind of see them in the thumbnail. So a zine is actually, let me find, you can create it from a single page of paper, like so. Let's see this, it's a little piece of paper. One sheet of paper, you fold it up, cut it center, and then you smoosh it into a book, like so. And so, let me switch back over. Sorry, I had to get used to switching everything over. Check this out. This is the first one I made. It's called an answered prayer. And I kind of just made it as a testimony about a prayer that got answered. And it happens to be about my book. I actually made a prayer request. Like, I wasn't sure if I was going to be writing this book, and I was kind of looking for a way out of not writing the book. But even then, the prayer that I lifted was confirmed. Okay, we'll see you when you come back, Ivan. Was confirmed that I am to write this book. And here we are. The book is done. So this little zine was actually to be a memory of my prayer that I lifted, and then 5 years later, where that prayer was answered by my sponsorship through my church for having my book published and completed. So that's in the process. Since then, I've created more, and I didn't see it at the time or realize it until I was sharing it with a friend. That some of these are actually testimonies or in reverence to God and my journey with God. So this one, you can't really see it clearly, and you don't need to, because it's just a draft. So I made a draft of a new zine because it came from a dream, and I just wanted to get everything out. And that's how I kind of drafted it. I just put it together of how I could present my zine. And then I played around on the computer and I made it into an actual zine. So it went from just a drawing. Look, you guys, that's my mom. She got baptized. And then while she was here, my little brother, I had a dream of my little brother that he went to like a flea market and he found this book and he ran up to the table and was like, what is this book? And when he realized it was a Bible, he was like, it's a Bible. Can I have it? And so that's what this is about. But at the time, my little brother didn't believe in God and was an atheist. And so this is the image of me telling my mom the next day that I saw the dream, or I had a dream and I think my little brother might be saved next. And it kind of happened. He had his own encounter with God. And so that's what this zine happens to be about. And then the back cover is encouragement to people who might still be praying for their friends and family to come to Christ or to have faith. So that's what that's about. And then this is the most recent one I made. It's about prayer and spiritual warfare. It's kind of busy right now, but again, this is my draft. So it looks very crazy. But once I create it, it'll be clear like this one, and it'll be easy to read for the people. At this point, I've only been creating these for myself and for fun. But if you are interested, and if you look into this, you'll find that zines are actually something that you can create. This is the one we're going to be working on tonight. It's called Living, Breathing Miracle. And then this is another one. I'm actually teaching a Bible study or leading a Bible study group called The Armor of God. So this one is also a draft and some of the topics that I can cover just to keep for myself and a memory, or kind of the main lessons of what we've learned. So that's just the draft. That's the title pages on the top. Haven't really done too much, so that's still in work. So it's this one and these other ones. So let's get to it. So tonight, my topic, or the zine that I'm working on, is actually called Living, Breathing Miracle. And as I said, it's a testimony of my little cousin and her life, and that she's our living, breathing miracle. So this is her story and how our family was involved with helping her and keeping the faith and keeping her hopes up. So the draft is also very wordy because it's mostly my own notes to myself of how to create the zine. So there's the title. Here's kind of how it all happened, or, you know, how I got involved and what I knew about it. And just kind of keeping her hope, and that she was strong through this entire process, when she was in the hospital and when she came out, and that she's back home. The situation may not look like how we expected, but she's still here with us and still got her whole personality. And back here, you can kind of see it's spiraled, or like the lyrics from the song called Living, Breathing Miracle. So let's get to it. I have some things here that I'm going to use. And one of the main things that I always share with everyone, or my viewers, is you don't have to go out to the store to get new things. I just happen to have these. So you don't have to go to the store to get new things just to create or just to make something. Actually, it's more fun when you use things that you already have, because it requires you to get creative and use what you've got. The other thing is, we don't want you to worry, or I don't want you to worry about perfection. It's more about progress. So you want to make sure that you're at least doing something and creating. These two look cool, so I'm going to keep them out. We might use those. So what I'm doing is I'm going to look for my background, or a paper that I'm going to use as my background. Sometimes you can create the zine on the one entire page, or you can fold the booklet. So let me see. Again, it's just one sheet of paper. So maybe I should show you guys how I folded this and how you create the zine, right? So we have one sheet of paper. I hope you can see it on this background. Now, one sheet of paper, you're going to fold it in half what they call hamburger style. Well, let me do it this way so that way you're not distracted by the writing. Fold it in half, hamburger style. Then you open it up, and then you fold it in half, hot dog style. And if this sounds crazy, this is what we learned in elementary, okay? So hot dog style is basically the long length, or fold it in half by the length. And then you start folding it in. And as you're going, you want to make sure that your pages are flat. So you want to crease them. Some people use what's called a bone folder, and it helps you make these folds crisp and clean and keeps your page lined up on all sides. Before I had the bone folder, I was using the paint palette, but I didn't want to ruin my tools, so I went out to buy the actual proper tool. But you can use whatever you want. You can use your nails, you can use a penny, you can use the edge of a scissors. Sometimes I do this. All right, so once you have it folded, you're going to open it back up and fold it again in the hamburger style. And then you would cut down the center to the next line. So if your paper was folded this way, you know, that line that we made, you'll fold it to there. And that's how you get this. And if you were to fold it, see how we've got like this little tent here? You bring that together and then you fold it like a book. And it can be different. I've noticed by watching different videos, because I've been creating this on my own. But when I was watching other people create their zines, I noticed that not everyone has the same layout. So if I put this here, you notice how my front cover is here and my back cover is here. Sometimes their front cover will be here and the back cover here. It all depends on how you fold it here. So if I were to open it this way, or sorry, fold it this way, this would be my back and this would be my front, right? But because I chose to fold it this way, this is my front and this is my back. So what's important when you have one sheet of paper, I really hope I'm not confusing anybody, but if I am, you can, you know, look up how to fold this zine properly. Somebody might be able to describe it better and slower. But when you have your page folded out and you know where you're going to plan everything, that's where you can number your pages. So this is page 1, 2. It also helps if you number them while you have it folded. So let's do that together, actually, so that I also don't get confused while we're creating today. So we're going to get right into it. So this is the front cover. I'm just going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And in the back cover, 8. All right. So when you unfold it, now you see 1 is over here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sweet. So what I sometimes do, and what you'll notice in, I should have kept this open, this first zine here, is I created everything on the one page. And you'll notice that some of my pages have the same color scheme. And that's because I created it this way. I had the book open, I made my background, flipped it open. And so each corresponding page kind of has a similar background, right? Or color scheme. And it just helped me with that. As for my other ones, when I created it, see, like this one, A Dream Came to Pass. Sorry. A Dream Came to Pass. I only drafted it all by pencil, so there was no background. And I chose to create this one digitally, which is why it has a background color on all the pages. They're very similar. It's because I just copied and pasted to all of them. And I kind of kept the same font style and size for each one. Even the titles are the same up top. And then the storyline kind of the same. So it made it easy because it was all done on the computer. For tonight and Tessa's testimony, or living, breathing miracle, we're actually going to find a paper or a page from this booklet that I have. And then I'm just going to create on top of it. So I don't know if you've seen these books before. This is a small collection. This one only has 50 pages. I don't know if I'm gonna find anything I like in here, but I'm gonna flip through just to see. Let's see, can you see? Nothing really fits. Oh, maybe these flowers. To see these roses. That looks kind of cool, but it also looks really busy that I would have to also create a background where my font or my story would pop out. So I'm gonna try the other book if I see something else. And if I don't find anything, we'll resort to the regular paper and we'll color it. We'll create the background, we'll do something. Otherwise, sometimes what I do as well is I'll take my sketchbook. Oh, this looks kind of cool. Just not for today's project. That's the other thing. I got to stay focused because then I'm going to get inspired to do other things while I'm working on this project. And then that just creates some busy tasks. All right. I don't really see anything. All right. So what I also do is I can go through my sketchbook. And if I have images that I like, oh, this is an old painting, actually, and I made a copy of it. So like this, do you see how this pattern could be a cool background? What I can do is I can make a copy of it, or I can copy it onto my paper. So we're going to do everything by hand tonight. And I'm just going to show, because what I want to do is I want to mimic if you don't have any of the tools or any extra paper or booklets like I have here. And if you're just using what you've got, you may not have it. Where did my paper go? Ooh, great. Oh, I put it here. Duh. So this is our paper. And I'm going to match it up with this one here to write my pages. And everything's going to get covered. So let's do it this way. I'm going to do 1, 8, 7, 6, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, and that's something important to focus or to notice as well. If you are creating this digitally, you're gonna have these 4 facing the right direction, and then your top box is upside down. So I'm gonna start with the cover. Put it open, smush it together. Let's use this fancy thing that we got over here. Fold it over. And our cover. If you notice that it's kind of uneven, you can fix that while you're still on this step. So there we go. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna have I'm kind of doing this similar to my first zine. I'm gonna make my front and back cover kind of the same style. And I think for the title, we'll go with these roses. If I can find it. Oh, it's in this book. And if you've been here before, you already know I'm going to invite you to not just watch, but if you actually have the stuff, you can join me and create too. But if you don't, you can watch for now, and I hope that it'll inspire you to at least try it sometime. That's right here. And right here. Dang, that makes it so much easier. And I'm not going to waste my time with cutting. I'm actually just going to tear it. And I guess that's the benefit of using that bone folder. It makes it so Yep, that's my line. It creases it so well that you don't have to go back over. Usually if I do it by my fingers like that, I have to fold it over, do the same. But once with the bone folder, and you can go right into tearing it off. Voila. All right, I'm actually going to fold it in half just so it helps me with lining it up. So if you don't have any of this fancy stuff, what I usually do are the main materials that I need are the paper that I'm going to create on. So like a printing paper or a notebook paper, any kind of paper, as long as it's the size that you want and you can fold it in the pattern that I showed you. And scissors and glue. And then of course, all the things that you're going to use to create with. So that's my front cover. I want to see which one's going to look better as the front and the back. And does it make a difference if I put it upside down or right side? Oh, I kind of like that the white roses are on the front cover and then the red roses are in the back. Are these roses? Sorry, I don't know flowers like that. I'm going to call them roses. If they're wrong, you can correct me. But I'm going to actually, can you see me over here? Okay. I want to make sure that I'm still in the frame. All right. So it might get quiet as I'm creating only because I'm going to end up getting so focused on this. So if you want, you can ask questions in the chat. You can talk to me in the chat. And actually, if you feel comfortable sharing, say what's up and let me know where you're watching from. All right, I think nope, it's a little bit off. So while the glue is still wet, I should have actually folded it back this way. Oh, my fingers are gonna get sticky. Nope. There we go. Cool. Easy peasy. All right. Boom. See, it already looks good already. And then you can see where my page didn't line up. So crooked. You can see it right there. It's not too bad, but I'm going to see if I can fix it. Oh, actually, it's not that the paper's crooked. It's that I gave it a little extra on my cover. The page that I glued on with the flowers is a little bit longer than my printer paper. So it's a standard, what is it? 11 by 8.5 printer paper. That's what I'm using right now. All right. So there's the cover. Oops. Let me do this right. There we go. Okay, now the inside, this is going to be where we were called to prayer. This is when we first found out what happened. So my little cousin was in an accident. It was a hit and run by 2 cars, which was very scary. And that's why it's a miracle, that she's still here. So this page is kind of when we first found out and how people responded or how we reacted. And from my cousin and I, we responded by going into prayer. So that's what this first section is about. So I'm going to find something that kind of relates to that or is similar or maybe has that type of theme or mood, just we're not working so much with words when it comes to this. We're just kind of expressing emotion through the pictures or through the visual. And sometimes your background can get covered by what you add to the top of it. So you see in my draft, it's very wordy of what happened or what happened in the story at this point. So I might find something that is kind of clear enough to let me write a lot on it. And I think I found it. Ooh, that looks good too. I'm going to save this for later. So I like this page. You see that? So I'm going to keep that out. I'm going to use that later. I like the colors on this one, so I might use it for the next page. And then it kind of just happens. So this is just my process. You actually get to watch me. It's not so much me trying to tell you how to do it. You're going to get to watch my style. And what you're going to notice is that just like visual journaling or any kind of art, everyone has their own style. So what I like to do may not look similar to what you do, but the point is that you create and that you have fun doing it. That's all that matters. So for those of you who are new to my channel, that's one of, I guess not one, but my main message. I'm here to encourage everybody to reconnect with their creativity. And what that means is we were all created to create. We are all creative in one form or fashion. Just because I'm creative by being crafty doesn't mean that you have to be. I actually know friends who are very creative in the kitchen. You know, the ones that can, I keep forgetting this. The ones that can look at a fridge full of leftovers and make a whole new meal. Some of us don't have that gift. And then you also have people who can create just by listening to someone describe what they want. And these people usually end up being great for as visionaries. They can have the creative talent to make something for somebody else, you know, bring somebody else's dream alive. There are people who plan and organize events just because they're good at that. That comes naturally to them. So for me, what comes naturally to me might be different for you. That doesn't mean you are not creative. It just means that your creativity comes out in a different form. And that's fine. But it also means we can all learn from each other. So sometimes when I'm not feeling very creative or I'm in a slump, one of my favorite things is going out for a walk in nature and being inspired. Or also going to a show or an event where another artist is performing in their form of creativity, or watching people dance. You know, some people like to dance. That's also being creative. So there's just all different things that you can find creativity in or be inspired by. So that's what I'm here to do. Is I'm gonna create. I'm not gonna worry about being perfect, but I'm gonna enjoy my creative session, and then I invite you to come join me to watch me create. Some of you like to watch how my art is made, like my paintings especially. So that's also another reason why I go live, is when I do paint, you guys will get to watch how it's made in a sense, you know. And we're just hanging out. That's really it. And will we have a finished product by the end of this video? I don't know. But we will make some progress. You've seen my vision and what I'm moving toward. And if I don't have a finished product by the end of this live, all it means is you know where to find me, right? On Instagram or TikTok. I'm more active on Instagram with keeping my updates. I don't always update TikTok, so I need to get better at that. But you'll see my updates on Instagram. Either it'll be me showing you the finished product. So when I paint, sometimes we gotta give it a while before it dries completely. And if I add any embellishments or details or anything to it, I will post it to Instagram and let you see the finished product. If it gets sold and it goes to somebody, or it gets a new home, I should say. Hey, Olivia. If it gets a new home, then I'll also post that and let you know where it ended up or who bought it or not. I don't usually post who bought it, but I'll usually send a message out like this painting or the name of the painting. I usually get the name of the painting has going home or was sent home to wherever. So there's that. So Olivia, it's been a minute. Guess what? Guess what? I wrote the book and it's in the editing process. So I get to spend all this time creating again. I'm so excited. So we're not painting tonight, but I'm just kind of sharing. Oh, this is kind of dangerous to be talking with the scissors. But I'm just kind of sharing with the new viewers what's up and what's going on. And in the past, how I've shared the progress of my art on Instagram if I don't finish everything here on the live session. But hopefully we'll get some progress done on this zine and telling this testimony. So right now I've glued down the background, but I'm kind of lining it up. It's kind of hanging over the original page. So I'm going to clean that up just a little bit. Just a little bit. Sometimes it helps to open the book or the paper. And snip, and snip, and snip. Oh, earlier when I mentioned that I've been creating my zines for fun and for myself for now or so far, it's because I haven't distributed any. I did share my other zine about my little brother having his encounter after I had the dream with my family, but I haven't really gone as far as fully distributing it or selling them, that kind of thing, since it's mostly just been for me. But in the future, maybe that will also be something that I do. All right, so we've got the cover, we've got the middle page, and then this next section, let's see. So again, the living, breathing miracle is a testimony about my little cousin. I figured you would be surprised. I was like, oh, all my subscribers are going to be surprised when they see this notification. I kind of wanted that effect because it was going to be easier than telling everybody, hey, I might be going live and then not come through. So I figured it would be a surprise for all of us. And the hard part is done. So, I finished. I'm, how would I say this? I came back to YouTube before the end of the first quarter. So it's nothing but going forward from here. It's going to be easier. The hard part is done. I had to reactivate all my accounts and things. So anyway, tonight's zine, we're creating this. This is my draft, and it's called Living, Breathing Miracle, Tessa's Testimony. And Tessa is my little cousin who was involved in a hit and run by 2 cars. She was run over and survived. And so this here is her testimony. And the first part, like I mentioned, is when we first received the news and how we responded as a family. And as for me and my cousin, we responded by going into prayer. And so that's what this first 2 pages are about. The second half is, or the second 2 pages, how to say, page 4 and 5. The next part of the story is about how our faith had to be activated, not just for ourselves, but our family. And that even though it was a very scary situation, we still had to have hope or keep our hope. And my little cousin made it through. She came out of the coma. And from there, she continued to fight. So it's a big deal. So that's what these next 2 pages are about. And I think this is where I'm going to use this color since it's hopeful. I'm going to use this part for the mix of the red and yellow. I think this one might be too, let's see, how big is this? Yeah, I think I like how it's mixed here. So I'm going to kind of line this up and just make my marks of where I'm going to cut this up. So Olivia, you might have to watch the replay to find out how I folded this one sheet of paper into this little booklet and the background behind it all. It actually came from when I used to junk journal or do my visual journaling, and then how I kind of progressed into creating zines once I discovered that they exist and what they are. And so here we are. So, just gonna write this. Yeah. Actually, I should come in a little bit since I had to cut off a section on the other page. Let's see. What else do I usually encourage you guys to do? Just start. It's not about perfection, but making progress. Your creativity can be in other things, not just in being crafty. What else did I share? Just start. If you don't have all the fancy stuff, or if you think this is fancy, what I have here tonight, use what you've got. Again, I mentioned the bare minimum material that you need is the full sheet of paper that will fold into a booklet. It doesn't have to be printer paper. If you have a sketchbook paper or sketchbook, rip a sheet out, fold it up the same way that I showed you at the beginning of the video, and start there. Then you'll need scissors to cut out whatever you want to put onto the pages. Right now we're doing the backgrounds, but once I start putting the little graphics and places where I can write my story, then you'll start to see how the layers all work together and how it's similar to junk journaling. Alrighty. Then who knows? You guys might have more materials that I don't even know about. So I think I've said it before, but it's been a while. So if you have any materials that you're keeping for the perfect time, the washi tape that you don't want to waste, the journal that you don't want to ruin, there's never going to be a perfect time. So it's just best to use them. You don't want your stickers to lose their adhesiveness just by sitting in your closet or in your cabinet, wherever you have them stored. Check that out. That's cool. All right. So the next part of the story is the title says, "Weary but not defeated." And that speaks for both the family that was encouraging Tessa and Tessa herself. The doctors kept telling us to prepare for the worst or to expect the worst, but we didn't want to believe it because we could see that she was making progress and we knew who she was as an individual, that she doesn't give up easily and that she was a fighter. So we kind of just held on to that hope. And also in prayer, we found out how exhausting it can be. And at that point, rest became important. Rest was important for everyone involved. And so that's what this next section is about. And then it ends, of course, with the greatest news, the miracle we were all waiting for. And Tessa returned back home. And I actually have a picture that my aunt shared with me where she's at home in her wheelchair and she's petting her dogs because she missed her dogs like crazy. Actually the animals. She took care of the animals back home, including the dogs, the pigs. You know, we have different farm animals back home. So she missed all her fur babies. And so that was one of her first pictures that I had. And that will be something that I will add later in creating this. And then of course you've seen the back cover. The design is kind of, see, okay, there we go. There's like a swirl of the lyrics, or the writing on there is actually the lyrics from the song called Living, Breathing Miracle by Victory Worship. So that's what's going to be on there. And this postcard background. And your zine can be about anything. It can be about something you like. It can be about something you don't like. It can just be a matter of getting your of expressing yourself and getting your opinion out there. If there's something that you care about or a cause that you stand for, you can create a zine, and that can be one of the reasons that you share it. if you want to inform others about something, a zine is one way that you can share that information. Or if it's just something that you want to do for fun, you can create a whole theme around it. Like I mentioned, I didn't realize it until I was sharing with a friend of the zines that I've created, that these are all basically testimonies. Alrighty, there we go. So it went from this to this. So that, there we go. I guess you can't really read the writing, but that's fine. I've kind of shared with you what's going to be in it. All right, so you ready? We're going to go ahead and start putting little pieces together. Let's see, the title. How am I going to do this? Living, breathing, miracle. It's kind of big. It's kind of a lot of words, or a lot of letters for a small page. You see these scraps that I now have? These can now be used for junk journaling or visual journaling, whichever way you want to refer to it, or other zines that I create in the future. So I always get to keep these, and this is actually what this is intended for. Any scraps that you have laying around, the best time to use them is when you're creating your junk journals, visual journals, and zines. I have stamps. I have these letters here, but I don't know if they will take up too much room or if I'll have enough space. Living, breathing, miracle. I think this is, they're kind of big. Let's see. Yeah, it'll be squeezed in too much. Breathing would be too big. Let me see if I have stamps that are small enough. And if I don't, then I'll put a piece of paper here for the title, and then I can write on it. So remember, I pulled these out earlier. We might find something small enough to be used for the title. Oh, I thought these were different pages. They did good because I thought they were all there. And I'm like, why are they stuck together? Crazy. All right. Oh, this one looks small enough. So, ooh, and it fits. I don't want to cover too much of the roses though. Put it up here or the center. I think a title page would be perfect right here. So last resort, if I don't find stamps that will fit in here, because breathing is the biggest word. If I can't fit that on here with the stamps that I have, then I'll use my handwriting and put it on one of these little cards, and then we'll glue it onto the cover itself. So these kind of things make this kind of creating fun. All right, I don't see anything else. I'll put these back away. Put it back away. Oh, I did want to keep, where was that heart and that star? I've already lost them. I had a nice, oh, here's the heart. And there was a star. Oh, this looks cool. I don't think I'll use it for this project, but it looks cool. Oh, here's the star. Found it. So I'm gonna put these together over there. Maybe that one too. It's starting to come together. And here's the biggest thing. What I draft or what you draft for your zine and how you intend for it to be may not come out the same way during the execution. So don't be discouraged if you find that something isn't working out the way you expected. Just keep going. And the whole thing is about having fun while you create. So I think I've kind of already given up on looking for the stamps that will fit because I keep pulling on that paper to come back to the front. I have this big box here with lots of stuff related to visual journaling. Let's do this here for now. These are the things I'm going to use, so I'm going to start collecting in this little bin right there. Move that to the side for now. Got big jumbo foam letters that probably won't fit for this project. These stickers aren't necessary, but I have them. So you see, over time, I've collected these things, and I never buy things, especially from Michaels, for regular price. I wait until they're on sale, just because it feels like a bonus. And so I have these letters here. I don't know if Living, Breathing, Miracle is going to be breathing. Let's see, B. I know what to do. Let me stop being a weirdo. Put them on the page. So I haven't used these yet, but we're about to. Which means I'm gonna need my ink. I have blue, I have purple, and I have red. So I think red will go with what we've got. I'll just need to find like a white or a lighter paper. I have tracing paper somewhere. Just not in here. Okay then. Let's bust this open. Give me my stamp. Oh. How much did I get? This is cool. There's a lot. A lot more than I expected. Oh no, it's just the cover. Just kidding. It's the uppercase letters, the lowercase letters, and a few extra designs. Don't throw that away. We need that. I have my trash can under the table. So here we go. Which way? Gimme. Put you right here for now. Okay. I'm gonna try breathing first since that's the longest word. Oh, I see how it goes. Can I use this, please? Thank you. B. Yeah, I can already tell it's not gonna fit. REATHING. Yeah, if this doesn't fit, look, you see how that's already falling off the paper? Let's go to plan B. And I think I kind of already knew. I just wanted to see for myself. Put it back away. To the side. Right. Oh, I have this other pack here. These are some artsy stuff. I don't think it goes with our theme for today, so I'm gonna leave that alone. But let's get this title page here, or this little post. Do I want it up here? Down here? Here, let's see. Can I move you guys down? Whoa! There we go. So now you can kind of see a little. Oops, sorry. The lighting kind of got darker though. Is that good? Okay. So I'm gonna glue this on here. I'm probably gonna keep it at the top. Seems to look better here. Or would it go this way? Nah. Or this way? Or this way? I think right here in the middle. Or between the two white flowers. So put my glue. Glue. Like that there. Oh, scoot over just a little bit, please. Right there. Haha, multifunction. I'm not just going to use this to crease my paper. I'm also going to use it to get the edges down on my glue paper. All right, now what am I going to use to write on this, or should I wait until later? I have markers here, but I don't know if that's going to be too messy. All right, let's go forward. I'm gonna stick with layering, and let's go to the second page. I'm gonna start making the heading. So this one is called Call to Prayer. Oh, there's gonna be a big heart in the middle. Ooh, perfect. We have heart stuff over here. Let me see if I got a big heart. I mean, I know I got a big heart. Let me see if we got a paper big heart. No, just kidding. Do I have a sticker of a heart? Maybe. Let's see what I got. Oh, this looks cool. This might work out somewhere where I need to write over it. That will give me. Oh, there's a little heart, but I think I need a bigger one that will fit the page. This is kind of cool too. I think I will use this on a page where I need to write more. Maybe not a, ooh, maybe it could be a zine. I can just fold it and make this here. Huh. Let me see. I could make the heading here. But that's too small to write in. I have kind of a big paragraph or like a chunk of writing in that heart. So I'm going to keep looking. But these are ideas. Oh, there's something I can write on. We're shopping right now, okay? We're going through what we already have and what might work for this project. And we pull them all out so that we can decide on what we really want to use or what's necessary for the project. And then we put away what we might not need. You see? Oh, this looks cool. Oh, and the background's kind of red. Hold on, let's go over here. Put that over here. I like this one. That's pretty cool. That notebook. I'll put that away for now. That might be used later. I'm gonna put that in this case because I want to use those for sure. This one might go perfect over here, and I could use the red heart since it is a bit bigger. God changed their lives. Things may feel like they're falling apart while they're falling into place. I think this will fit, and I can make the words PLACE drop down here. I'll just need to fold this in line, and or if I bring this line of the actual thing to the center, I could just use what's already there. Write this up top and right place, come down. Okay, these are ideas. These might work. This one's a little bit too big for what I'm working on, so I'm going to keep that out. And let's see. Well, maybe I did take the camera out too far. Now you guys can't see me. Ooh, this one's kind of cool, but maybe too big for. Well, I want this missing yet. I'm going to keep it as a possibility. So there's that. Let's see, bring you out just a little bit. There you go. Oh, after I've done the digging around. I have stickers here. Let's see if I have a heart in here. So I think I want to use this here, but I'm still also trying to find a heart that might work. Let's do this. This is the fun part. See, I've had these for a while, but I've never really. I'm kind of like you go. Oh, actually, there was already an opening, but I'm cutting them open. I kind of do it too. Okay, when I tell you guys, don't try to keep things until the perfect time. I do it too. So I have a whole bunch of stickers here that I've been waiting to use and haven't used. Oh, that's kind of cool. Some roller skates. We might not need it for this project, but that's cool that I have that there. Look at these. All these stickers. Here, actually. Ooh, whoops, wrong way. Stickers galore. Stickers, stickers, stickers. Do you see anything you like? Oh, more skates. More skates. Actually, I'm going to put these in. Oh, there's a heart there, but it's too glittery. It's going to distract from being able to write on it. So I can't use that. That's kind of a good message for this testimony. Keep on keeping on. I like that flower. Maybe I'll find a place to add that since we already have flowers on the cover. Now you know that this has caught my attention. This is the reason. This is the whole reason why I grabbed this pack of stickers, because it had the skateboard on it. So I started skateboarding, when was it? Last year. Or I bought my skateboard in the wintertime, which I found out was like, oh, you can't really skate in the wintertime. So I had to wait. And so now I finally got to skate. So that skateboard was for that, or that's what caught my attention, and that's how I ended up buying the stickers. And when I found out they were only $1, that's how I ended up with 3 packs. And now here we are. We get to figure out if any of these will work for this project. So there's some mushrooms. These are like gardening, I think. Oh, some more skateboards. Cool. I'm gonna actually keep that out here for myself. I'm gonna put that on my laptop. Oh, a butterfly. That's pretty cool. Some cherries. Rainbows. This is perfect for springtime. smiley faces. All right. I think I'm good. I didn't find anything for this. The heart that I did find. Oh, I found a flower. Just lied. But the heart that I found wasn't going to be a good use since it's kind of too distracting, or it won't let me write on top of it. Where's my cover? Here we go. So I'm gonna put these away for now. Oh, here's another thing I've done. I've cut out letters from magazines and I have them in this Tupperware. So that's another thing. Don't think that when you go to Michael's or these craft stores, just because they have all these fancy containers or like small containers for every single thing, sometimes you can feel like it's necessary or like you have to get them because, oh, they're here. I didn't know I needed this. Sometimes you don't. You can just use what you have. And I hardly use this little container to store food or anything. I've mostly used it just for snacks. So I decided that it was small enough to keep all these letters. So I did think about, there's some words in here that were still together that I could use. This from the Valentine magazine. Stacey Valentine right there. So yeah, these are some things that you could use or that you could do for yourself. I know that the zine we're working on right now isn't going to be big enough for what I have here, but that's how you can start collecting your letters and all of that. All right, we're coming up on an hour on our live and we've only gotten our backgrounds done, so let me move along and start layering. All right, so I'm gonna stick with my first idea or the first inclination, and we're going to use this as it is, and I will find out how to get this to fit. Sometimes if I can't handwrite it, you see how this is a big chunk of wording. I feel like I can fit it in here, but it might not be legible for somebody else to read. I might actually go on to, Word document or Canva and just type it out and then print it and then glue it on here. So the same way that I cut out the letters for the magazine, I can do that directly. Another idea that I got from somebody else is going to Five Below or the dollar store and getting one of their crossword puzzle books or word search, because they have lists of words in there, and so you could just find the words you need and cut them out from there. So that's another idea if you need that. So I might do that, but right now I think the easiest thing for what I do have here would be to type it out and print it and then cut it and paste it, like physically, not on the computer. Cut and paste. So you see how this little postcard picture had a line here? I kind of used that as a guide, but it's not folded perfectly with that. And I'm just going to line it up with my zine here in the crease so that it folds naturally into that space. And then I'm going to glue it down. But I also want to make sure that my heart is going to fit here and have enough space, because from the heart, you notice that it says the word place is dropping down, because the message is saying things might feel like they're falling apart while they're falling into place. And place is kind of dropping down. And it says the enemy was at work, but God was moving. God was on the move. So I'm going to put that here so that way, once I line it up with the center like that, I'm going to put this here so that way place can kind of drop down and it will be, I can read it. And if not, well, no, that's how it's going to be. Let me stop second guessing myself. Let's glue it down. Olivia, I have a question. Does this kind of go with how you plan out a magazine or when you're creating? Because I would think all of it is also layered or works in layers. I think right here. Because this is actually, from a magazine itself. A zine is called a zine because it's a mini magazine where you get to share your ideas in imagery. All right, so there we go. I got to make sure that it's going to fold back properly and it doesn't interfere. Oh, it does. It interferes with my book closing the right way. So here we go again. Pulling it off while the glue is wet. And I'm just going to put the picture in the middle and close the book on it so that everything will lay the way it's supposed to without causing too much problems, hopefully. There we go. And then let's make sure it's all hanging down properly. Ta-da! All right. I didn't think I was going to be talking a lot, but here we are. I was like, I might get quiet if I get focused. But I've basically just been sharing everything as I'm going. So we're all good. All right, next page. And this has to do with keeping our hopes up. And is it? And Tessa, whoops, too far. Yes, it is. Continuing to pray and having hope for Tessa. And then she made it out of her coma. And based on her personality, she was able to push through and kept fighting despite what the doctors thought. So that's the biggest thing. That's the hugest part. Yes. Ah, okay. That's pretty cool. So it's kind of like just doing the physical or with our hands, the same thing you would do for a magazine. That's kind of fun. That means your job is fun. Or do you see it as a job? I wouldn't think so, right? Since you're kind of having fun, or I see it as fun. But then again, I am creating for the fun of it, and I'm not having to design based on someone's need or vision. But it also lets you carry over that skill. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to put this here. I can cover that later with the title. The title up here. We'll cover it. Right now, I'm just creating where I'm going to write my story. So, and it's so this is kind of what I was talking about is your background. You can create it, but sometimes it does get covered. And so if it's something that you really care about or that you want to keep, you can also find either find something else that's a little more see-through. Like I use tracing paper sometimes. So this is a piece of tracing paper. You can see how it still keeps the color or the background. You can still see through it, but it also gives you that light color. So that way, if you write on it, it will be readable. It doesn't blend with the background. So tracing paper is a good option. And sometimes I'll crumble the tracing paper just to give it a texture. And that kind of makes it fun too. But I'm going to use this one here. And I'm probably not going to be able to line it up perfectly. But I'm going to try. There we go. So if you are going to create a zine and you're going to distribute it, one of the main things you want to be mindful of are your borders. And that's kind of why I'm already creating on a paper that is a printing paper. Because if you make copies of it, you don't want parts of your zine to get cut off during printing. And that's something I'm also still working on as far as bringing my work over to the digital side and printing it. It's not so much as the project itself and where I'm placing them, but sometimes it's the printer and the parameters that are set that kind of cut things off without me intending to. It's just how the printer is set. And so that's something that I'm still learning. Let's see, does that the faith place. So this side is the prayer section, and then the faith place. One of the biggest things that we had to work on was our language and the words we were using, not to be so doubtful or speaking out of fear of like, oh my God, what is going to happen? Or what if this and that? You know, we were we're always making sure to speak, and also not like being delusional of the situation of like expecting what was clearly not entirely possible. We were also being realistic about her physical condition of her body and what she was going through. And so just keeping hope, but also speaking in a way that was hopeful and to encourage Tessa as she was recovering, because it was a very long process. It's actually about to be, or it has been a year since it happened, and she was released from the hospital. She was in the hospital from February until, I believe, October. I want to say October, but I might be wrong. So there we go. You see how that fits? I'll be able to write my story there, just like that. And I'm gonna flip it over. Yeah, definitely staying inspired is a big thing. I was sharing earlier too that sometimes my way of staying inspired is by watching other artists or going out in nature and watching different things. I think this page that I picked here might actually be kind of cool for telling the story on its own, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 bullet points. 1, 2, 3. Well, this side's going to have a picture of Tessa when she's back home. So I'm going to leave that. I'm just going to cover it as if it doesn't exist there. Kind of like that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I can cover this postal message here with the title. It says weary but not defeated. So I'm going to leave that alone. And I know that her picture's going to go here. I did my little sketch, but it looks way crazy. So I'm not going to show that too much. But there you are. That's how we create the zine. As far as the folding process, you guys want to see what it looks like once we unfold the actual page? So Olivia, you weren't here for the beginning, but I was showing them that this can all be created from one sheet of paper. And this is how we did it. We fold the page in in hamburger style, which is, I was laughing because I don't know if everybody actually knows that reference for folding the page. But if you fold it in half this way, it's a hamburger style because it's the wider. And then if you fold it in half this way, it's hot dog style. So we start by folding the page hamburger style or hamburger to get this center line here. We crease it there. And then we fold it into hot dog so that we can get the different division between the first set of pages. Now we're making our page size, I should say. And then we're going to fold in, or if you have it in the hamburger style this way, and then you fold your pages in like this, and then you flip it over. Whoops, it's already cut. So fold it over and then fold it in like this. That's how I make my pages, like that. And once we open it, we have this little tent or whatever you want to call it, this little standy uppy thing. I'm just kidding, somebody else used that word. And so you cut it from that center line boop, to the middle, and that's how you get this little opening. Once you have that opening, you bring your pages together like so, and you smush the page, and then you close it up like a book. And I was saying that at this point, when you have it here, it can change for everybody. Some people can have it open this way, and that's their front and back cover. Some people can have it in the center, and that's your back and front cover. The important thing is, however you decide to fold it at this point, when you have it in the book style, number your pages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 for your front and back cover. And that way, when you open it up, you know where everything is orientated, and that's how you can make your backgrounds. And like I mentioned, you can create or decorate each page individually, or you can do like we did tonight, and I just kept the front and back cover with one theme and the second third and fourth, and then the last 6 and 7 with their own theme. So that kind of made it simple because I didn't have to find something for each page, though it is possible. One example I have as well for creating backgrounds goes back to my sketchbook. So before I close out, let me show you guys some ideas that I had for another zine that I worked on. So this is one of them. Basically, this is just something I do for fun when I'm doodling. I drew the stars first, and then I outlined them twice. And then once your lines start to come together, you kind of just go around the designs. They're not going to make sense. And eventually you'll have these odd shapes around here. But the point is to fill the entire page, and it just kind of helps you relax and zone out. And so that's one thing. And if I wanted to, I could upload this into Canva and then create on it by pulling it into one of the photo grids. Or I could make a copy of it in the same way that you saw me cut the paper and then glue it onto the zine itself. We could do that as well. So here's one of my paintings that I did on a wooden board. I put it on my scanner and uploaded it to my computer and just printed it out. So I get to use my paintings as a background without messing up my painting. So here's some pages that I created from these same books. You know, you see me tear out the big sheet of paper from these booklets. Again, don't feel like you have to go out and buy these things. And you don't have to buy them at regular price. If you wait for a good sale, those are the best time to buy even just 1 or 2 at a time. And over time, buy 1 or 2 at a time, and eventually you'll build up your collection. You'll have a lot to create with. So this is actually from my journal. This one was fun. So this one was like from a full sheet of paper, just like we did here. And what I did was I continued. So let's say it was this entire thing, and I can, or one of these. If I were to cut these little images individually and then start layering them on top, that's kind of what it looks like. So it was one entire sheet that looked like a huge newspaper, but I tore it up into different pieces and layered it on top of itself, and it came out like this. So I now get to use this as a background rather than just using what was available. Same with this one. This is for the prayer spiritual warfare zine that I created. So you'll notice that these backgrounds are the same of what I'm showing you. So hold on one second. This one as well. This was gonna be a back cover. And that's the screenshots from the prayer group as well. So those, I mean, the options are, you know, limitless. You can do what you want, and with your own creativity, I'm pretty sure you'll come up with ideas that I may not know about. So whatever comes to mind, if it sounds interesting, if it sounds fun, go ahead and try it out. But these backgrounds that you just saw me go through in my sketchbook, I uploaded them and printed them. And so now this is what they look like. And this is my draft. So it looks very busy and illegible. You can't really read everything that's there. But eventually, when I put it on, when I print it, it's going to be a lot easier to read because it'll be in the font that's, you know, right for this size of a paper or the page. So this is kind of encouragement. It starts with praying against the enemy and what he may be trying to take from you. And then this is from the perspective of the enemy being found out. And then here is just encouragement of the importance of obedience. And then God fighting for you, prayer and persistence. The encouragement came from Nehemiah chapter 4 and also chapter 6 about staying on the wall. And then encouragement that your prayers and your obedience aren't in vain, and a declaration or a statement of focusing on purpose. So this is my own. That's why I'm kind of like flipping through so you can't read it. But that's kind of what I've been working on, or what I've been doing now that I've written my book and going through the process of getting it to publishing and the finished product, so that one day we can each have it in our hands Just, stay posted. If you don't already follow me on Instagram, make sure you're following me. In the description below, you're going to see my handle. Basically on every platform, I'm at Nastacio TL. So make sure you follow me and you'll keep up with the updates that I have. And I didn't realize that I've had this banner going on the whole entire time. But let's see. Where do I have? I don't have my, oh, here we go. That's how I spell my last name. But Nastacio TL, you can follow me on all platforms. And Instagram is usually where I will post anything if it's not video form. If it's video, then we'll be here live on YouTube. Now that I'm back and we've got all this time to create, I wanted to make sure that I started this or came back on here before the end of the quarter. So hopefully we'll be here again next week and I will continue working on this. I might actually type this out, but I won't go forward until I'm with you guys. So the next time you guys come back, we'll be adding the storyline or the words to the story. And I will have everything ready. And then that should be a shorter video. Maybe. We'll see. I can't promise because sometimes I do end up getting into it and it goes longer than expected. I don't usually have a set time. My only thing is that it'll be a minimum of 30 minutes. That way we're at least hanging out. And if you do decide to create with me, whether it's during the live or when you're watching the replay, you'll have somebody to hang out with while you're working. So also, if you are new to zines and you want a start to finish product, this is kind of your way of getting that, because today I literally went through all the steps. The only thing that I had done already was the draft, and I knew what I was working on. So that kind of guided me on finding the theme or the mood of each page in telling the story. So there's that. Thanks for dropping in, everybody who's been hanging around. Those of you that are new here, welcome, and I hope that you'll subscribe and you'll continue watching. In the meantime, I hope you guys have a good night, and remember to stay creative, be fearless, stay creative, and wherever you are creative at, it doesn't have to be in stuff like this, being crafty. Just express yourself. And if you do fall into a creative rut or you feel like you're not being inspired, take a break and go watch somebody else be creative. Go watch somebody dance. Go watch somebody cook. When you see them get into their creativity, it'll inspire you. All right. Until next time, have a good night. Thanks for joining me. Bye.